All right, gang. It is 10:30. We're going to get started promptly to get things moving here, so that we can get through some of the data that we need to share with you and hop right into the seeding aspects of this state tournament. So, if you're on this call, I just want to first throw out a congratulations um, from the MSHSL, from myself personally and our team here, and our Coaches Association, as we've got Greg Juba sitting next to me as the liaison to the league. So congrats on making the state tournament for 24. We're excited to have you all on this call and obviously have you as part of the tournament. So we're going to jump into a few things here. Amy, if you want to move forward into our agenda, I'm going to introduce a few of us. So, again, congratulations on being here. I'm Phil Archer. If we have not had the pleasure of meeting in person yet, I'm the director for soccer here at the MSHSL, one of the associate directors in my third year here with the league. Seated next to me, I have Greg Juba from the Minnesota Soccer Coaches Association. He is a vital, I would say, asset to us here at the league and plays a very large part in how well soccer rolls in the state of Minnesota. Also on this call, we have Tim Layton, who will be sharing some information around media for the state tournament over the next 2 weeks. We also have Laura McIntoon, our director of technology, our IT here at the league, is going to share some information around website, spectator information, anything that we need from you from a communication standpoint. She's going to hit on a few of those topics. And then I also have Miss Amy Ince, who is the support staff for soccer. Really, she is the go behind everything that happens, whether it be this slideshow that you're viewing right now, or the signage and information posted around US Bank Stadium. All of that kind of flows through Amy's office, and she makes sure that the event is in a very good spot that's easy to navigate, enjoyable for the teams, the spectators, and the community, and the whole nine. So that is our team here briefly. We're going to hop into a few things just to get rolling. So I'm going to pass it over to Tim to start talking about media. Tim?
Very good, and welcome everybody. Congratulations on a terrific season. If you're on this call right now, that means you've had a wonderful journey this year. Just a few things to cover as it relates to the media pieces. The media, as you know, you've had media covering you all season, and that will continue at the state tournament level. Today, we'll talk about the quarterfinal pieces. And for any administrators that are on this call, the school and student media programs is eligible for the soccer state tournament because it's a bracketed team event. So what that means is all school and student media are eligible to cover the event. That is up to 2 student media members and a faculty advisor. And those applications need to flow through the AD's office or your designee. It can't be a faculty advisor. It can't be a student applying on their own behalf. All of those pieces need to flow through the activities department. And just a reminder to coaches and to administrators on this call, the team designated photographer is not permitted to fill in that faculty advisor role. Just a couple of things. The faculty advisor does need to be on hand in the vicinity of the students as they are going through this experiential learning program. Don't forget, there are 2 separate applications for soccer. The first is the quarterfinal piece, and the quarterfinal deadline is Monday at 7 o'clock. We get your applications by 7 o'clock. You should be just fine. If your team advances to the semifinals, then we will have another application for that, and the deadline for there is Monday, the 28th. Next slide, please. And this is where I hand it off to Laura. Before I hand it off to Laura, if I can just there will be league staff or presence at each of the quarterfinal sites. They will assist you in the where There will be an interview zone afterwards, as well as during the game. There are designated photo zones that our site administrators are already preparing for, and as well as the interview areas post game. Coaches and players will be requested by the media, and you will meet opposite the team areas on the 50-yard line. Opposite that area, that's where the media will be waiting for you. You will be escorted to that spot. That's it for me today. Congratulations. I'll be looking forward to working with all of you this week and next. Now it's off to Laura.
Great. Thanks, Tim, and good morning, everyone. And again, as others have said, congratulations. Sharing some things with you on where you can best find information for you and your team as you prepare, but also information for you to share with your spectators and communities. The slide you're looking at right now is aimed at coaches and ADs. This is a view of a coach and AD dashboard once you have logged in for you to find information for you to prepare your team for the upcoming weeks. Picture number 1 there on your dashboard, coaches and ADs, you will find a big blue button that says sport and activity information. That button that Amy is pointing to with the bright red arrow that said sports and activities. When you click that, you will get a number of blue bands as shown in picture 2. You're looking for the one that says soccer, boys or soccer, girls. And on the far right side of that band, that little plus sign will open up number 3 for you. And that's where you're heading. On the far right side of that band, underneath boys soccer or girls soccer, is where Amy, Phil, and others in our office are putting all of those documents that you need as you prepare for your state tournament trip. Amy does a great job of getting things here. Often she will attach them to an email too, but always make sure that they are here. So when you can't find something, when you're kind of looking to see, have I done the things I need? This is a great spot to look. After the meeting today, the slides and the recording from this meeting, this is where those will be placed underneath that state tournament resources section. And again, this is for coaches and ADs. The next slide takes you out to the public side of the website. You will find additional information for you here, but really this is aimed at your communities and spectators. We have both a boys soccer and a girls soccer page. Much of the information is the same between them, but not everything. You can get to those pages by going up to the top under sports and activities and picking either girls soccer or boys soccer. Or down at the bottom, you also see we have a shortened URL that's just /girls soccer, 2 S's, or boys soccer to get to those pages. On those pages, you and your spectators will find a number of blue buttons under the state tournament information section. These will continue to grow as we move toward the tournament and more buttons get added as we prepare for that tournament. This is where you'll find things like the things listed under the bullets on the left-hand side of this slide. So again, as you're preparing your spectators and fans, this is where you want to send them to find all the information as they prepare to enter the state tournament. One of the things you'll find on that page is a link to our online program. And kudos to this group. Our soccer group has done an amazing job of getting all of the information in that you need to for that programs. Ellen in our office commented yesterday that soccer has done an amazing job. She hasn't had this good of response from teams in quite a while. So thank you for that as you prepare for the tournament. A reminder that our programs are all online. People can view them, print them, bookmark, whatever they'd like for those. And they're on that soccer page. We also have one page, which is at /programs, where you can go and view all of the soccer programs. We expect that soccer program to be posted sometime Monday in preparation for the tournament. Also, links on that page, you'll find links to tickets. Tickets you can also access from the very top of the website. A reminder that all state tournament events are ticketed. We really suggest that you purchase those tickets online for your quickest entry at the gate. Quarterfinals will be ticketed through the league's new ticketing partner, GoFan. We have been with a different ticketing vendor for the past few years. GoFan is now our official ticketing partner. After the meeting today, if on our ticket page currently, it just says that a game is at a certain site on a certain day. It does not have teams in there yet. After seating today, those team names will be added to facilitate people buying their tickets and getting the right tickets for each site. GoFan has quick entry at the gate. It does not permit any type of printed ticket or screenshotted ticket. So make sure that your folks have their tickets on their smartphones for entry at the gate to facilitate that quick entry. For those that move to semifinals and championship games, those games are ticketed through US Bank's Ticketmaster system, and those at third place will be GoFan. So again, working with your folks that are attending to help them understand that ticketing process. All of the tickets, no matter what vendor we're using, are all at mshsl.org/tickets. That's where you go to buy tickets for any vendor. The process from there is just a little bit different. Another link on that page. Oh, sorry, one more piece here. No, go ahead, Amy. I think it looks like we just have two ticketing pieces in there. Oh, this one has the prices on, again, for each of those different levels of the tournament. Moving forward, state tournament apparel. During the tournament at semifinals and championship rounds, apparel will be sold at US Bank. It will also be available at the Soccer Coaches Association ceremony on the 20th and can always be purchased online. Always encourage people to shop early for best selection. Our apparel partner Signature Concepts does a great job of trying to know how much to have on hand. But again, we never quite know which might be the big seller on a given year in a certain size. So would encourage you to purchase when you are able for apparel. The next slide has a quick picture of the apparel for the soccer tournament this year. Gives you a quick preview of that. And then finally, streaming. All soccer games will be streamed live through NSPN, our streaming partner. Streaming partner does have that coverage. They are a yearly subscription or a monthly subscription. And again, all of those games will be covered by NSPN. Phil, I'm going to throw it back to you for anything that I might have missed or for you to come back and cover.
No, Laura, you did a great job. Thank you for being here with us this morning. And what I would say is on the apparel side of things, Signature Concepts does do a great job of kind of having a gist of what we need as far as how much apparel to have on hand. But I would really echo Laura's sentiments on getting stuff early, and that's part of the reason why we work with the Soccer Coaches Association with their ceremony to offer that to your kids early, so that they're not worried about going up and getting a sweatshirt when they should be worrying about winning the state championship. So that access to having that at the ceremony on Sunday is a huge piece for you as a coach or an AD to make sure that your kids are locked in and winning some games versus trying to look cool with their friends after the tournament's done. So take advantage of that early and knock that out. So great job, Laura. Thank you, Tim, both for being here. Let's go ahead and get into some of the logistics around the tournament itself, highly centered around quarterfinal information in this one. So seating. You were all given access to a participating school guide. There's a plethora of information that is in there that you need. Some of it communicated back to us, some of it just for your general knowledge, some to be communicated out to your spectators. We're going to hit on a couple of the prime topics in there, the things that we need to make sure that you know, and the things that we need to make sure that we get from you. So that everything goes smooth over the next week here as we're in multiple sites and in multiple time slots. So seating. One thing that I can say is that you, as soccer schools, have done a great job of getting your information into us. I've got positive feedback from several different spots in our office as to how quickly and promptly you got your information in that we need. So thank you for being on top of that. I can't tell you how huge that is for an Amy Ince or an Ellen or the people in our office that put together our programs and facilitate all the work that Greg and I are doing on a Saturday morning. And so you helped out tremendously by getting that in. So I just wanted to take a quick minute and say thank you for that. The seeding results. So we'll obviously hit on all the seeding and reveal all that at the conclusion of this meeting. But as I said, everyone was given the opportunity to seed their opponents. And we how it works for us is once all the seeds are submitted, we do soccer does a 1 through 5 seeding with a random draw of 6, 7, and 8. We do not do the random draw here. The Coaches Association does the random draw. And so this morning, the Coaches Association did the random draw with us in witness, obviously. And then one thing that we changed last year that worked really well, we got great feedback from you, was we did that prior to the call so that we could also, at the time of the seeding releasing, we can also share with you your game site and your game time along with your opponent as well. So we'll do that at the conclusion of this meeting as we continue to press on. But you guys did a great job of getting all that information in, and so kudos to you. Let's go ahead and move forward, Aim. All right, another piece of the participating school guide is your official roster. So 22 players, 3 coaches, and 2 student managers. Pretty straightforward. For the most part, all of our our section tournaments ran by our regions all follow this as well. One thing that I'll point out specifically in this meeting is any of your additional team personnel, your statistician, athletic trainer, your team doctor, they are seated behind the bench and they are not coaching. Through our section tournament and the end of postseason, I would say that if you use a lower level coach as a statistician, that is great. Their job is a statistician. They're not a 4th coach for you that's out there coaching your kids. So please be mindful of that. We have a 4th official that's going to be essentially minding the 2 benches. And so let's try and do our best to stay in line with that 22 players, 3 coaches, 2 student managers. And then, so we need that tournament admittance form from you by Monday. I believe Monday is the 21st, Amy. So we need that from you because that is how we make our pass list. And so go ahead and get that submitted to us. If there's any questions on that, then we will reach out to you to get any of those things cleared up. Also, on your tournament admittance form, you have your 3 coaches. They have to have their CERs completed and be certified coaches. Every year that I've been here, I've seen at least 1 or 2 in every one of the programs that I run where there's a coach that hasn't completed their CERs. Be proactive. ADs on this call, if you haven't already checked to make sure, which I mean, they really shouldn't have been coaching this entire season if they don't have those CERs completed. That's for your safety and your school district's, managing of risk and liability. But our office will check all of those coaches that come through here. You will get a note from Amy Ince saying that this coach will not be allowed on field if those certifications aren't completed. And so just be in front of that on the front end, and then you can kind of help us out on the back end. But we'll notify you if that's something that we come across. Amy, let's go ahead and move forward.
Do you want to talk about bringing copies of the roster, turning it in 5 minutes at quarterfinal sites, 5 minutes before game time?
We can hit on that too. Thanks for reminding me. So your tournament admittance form is how we, admit your team when you show up at the pass gate for your quarterfinal sites or even in US Bank Stadium. Soccer rule allows you to adjust your team roster up to 5 minutes before the game starts. So when you're handing in your hard copy roster at the scores table, that technically could be a little bit different. So make sure that you are bringing that hard copy roster to submit to your quarterfinal site scores table, because that's what we are going to use as your official tournament roster once that first game has been played. Okay, so we are requesting that you turn in an admittance form with your official roster on it, but technically by the rule of soccer, you have until 5 minutes prior to your game to make any changes or do whatever it is to your lineups and your official roster. So when you hand that official roster in at the scores table at your quarterfinal site that you've been assigned to, that will be your official roster for the tournament. And so, for example, if you have a student athlete that was ejected in a section final or something like that, that. If you anticipate them being part of your state tournament roster, they need to be on that roster and be sitting out. Or if kind of that same thing if you've got an injured student athlete. So, and if there are any questions on that, you can feel free to reach out to me and I can help clarify. That's not a very common scenario, but it's something that I know personally. There's a couple of schools that did have some ejections that do have to navigate that. If there are any questions, please reach out. Amy, thanks for the reminder on that. Appreciate it. All right, school reps. One of the cool things that we experimented with a little bit last year during hockey and basketball was adding some additional representatives to help out with spectator management. And so, not for our quarterfinals, but anticipate for the semifinal games at US Bank, instead of having 4 comp tickets, which has kind of been the norm throughout the years here, is to have 4 comp tickets used for spectator management within your athletic department. You will have 4 at our quarterfinal sites, but when we get to US Bank Stadium, ADs, you will have 8 tickets to use. These are to be used for spectator management, for administrative aspects, administrative personnel work at the tournament. So it's not really designed for, the coach's family or this or that. These are tickets that are set up so that we have additional resources on hand from your community to help us, I would say, navigate spectator management, all that good bylaw 409 language, stuff along those lines. At the quarterfinal sites and at US Bank Stadium, I'm going to ask that you check in with the site administrator at least 30 minutes beforehand. This is going to be big, especially with our quarterfinal sites. We've got a lot of moving pieces. The site managers that run those sites are all very experienced and veteran ADs. They do a great job of hosting their events. But if they don't know who they're working with or who to contact, if there's an issue in your particular student section or in your spectator sections, if they don't know who to communicate with and how to contact, I don't care how good they are, they're going to have more trouble doing their job than if they had access to you. So whoever your admin reps, those 4 people, make sure they are checking in at the pass gate and looking for the site manager when they get to that game. We need to have access to those folks in case there are emergencies or situations that pop up that we need to address. Our behavior expectations, while we're on the topic of spectator management, behavior expectations, if you're an AD on this call, these have been drilled into your head over the last 2 years. We're going to continue to talk about these. These were really designed with the kind of the student in mind, but really they have application for all of our spectators, which is great. And so you're going to have access to banners and common language and all these good things. The one other piece that I will hit on around the behavior expectations and code of conduct and all these things is we've talked a lot about our pre-contest timeout. You can anticipate that our quarterfinal sites will do that pre-contest timeout with coaches, officials, the site manager, the trainer, stuff like that. These are all kind of falling under the spectator management piece. And the behavior expectations and the pre-contest timeout are 2 tools that we use to have common language and get everyone on the same page. Let's go ahead and move in. All right, home and visitor. High seed will be the home team. If both teams are unseeded, the team on the top of the bracket is the home team. So as we reveal the brackets, I'm not sure if we have a whole ton of those situations right. Well, I know we don't right now, obviously, but as the tournament moves forward, if both teams are unseeded, the top team on the bracket is considered the home team. Reminder to bring both of your sets of uniforms and your scrimmage vests to all games, just in case there's any issues that we need to adjust on, but just be communicating to bring everything to all teams. And then the coin flip and a lot of the pregame communication with your team and through officials and things along those lines, those will be handled in the locker room area or backstage, you could call it. Let's go ahead and move forward, Amy. All right, our pregame procedures. So as I mentioned earlier, we will be using a 4th official, and they'll be connecting with the teams roughly 10 minutes prior to the teams taking the field to warm up and go through their pregame routine with you. One of the things that I do want to hit on is that for our quarterfinal sites as well as our time at US Bank Stadium is we want our kids changing in the locker rooms and not on the fields. All right. So part of this whole pregame routine through officials inspecting uniforms and all of that piece is making sure that our kids are dressed in uniform and are legally and properly equipped, I believe is the right terminology for that. Shin guards, socks, things along those lines. We've been seeing a lot of odd things around socks this year, and um, and so we want to make sure that we're on top of that piece. So they'll do all those inspections visually during warmups, but send the kids out on the field ready to rock and roll and not changing on the sidelines. All right, we'll do a World Cup style of introductions, and then just a note that there'll be pre-game handshakes, not post-game handshakes, and that's all part of that standard World Cup style intro. Let's go ahead and move, Amy. All right, policy for suspended games in our quarterfinal sites. They are all outside. Last year we navigated some suspended games and some delays. So again, talked about that pre-contest timeout. Prior to that, or excuse me, prior to the game, we'll talk about what the policy or what the procedure will be around suspended games and how those will be called. At the state tournament level, there's multiple pieces, multiple layers of communication before games are restarted or when they're suspended in communication with site manager, tournament managers, and directors, and the ADs of those schools and that are largely on site when that happens. So we'll be working on that and be in good communication on any instances where we do have a suspended game. But just understand that once the contest begins, officials do have the authority to postpone or suspend a game if there's unsafe weather conditions. So again, there'll be many people communicating on that front. If you are an AD on this call, just know that you might be getting phone calls from myself or other tournament staff if we encounter that, which we did last year, and we did a great job of navigating that. Let's go ahead and move forward. Tie-breaking procedure. Unlike regular season, we have to have a winner. We have to have someone to advance. I would say most people are familiar with our tie-breaking procedures. One quick note that I'm going to say is that when we are in between the two 10-minute periods, teams should not be huddling and spending time strategizing or going to the bench or doing different things along those lines. That came up a couple of times in section play, and it led to some conversation that probably didn't need to be had if we followed the rules and we just swapped ends and we got play started again. So our tie-breaking procedure is listed all out here. Understand that a lot of the information on the slides I'm not going into depth on. They're on the slides so that if you go back and look at the recording, you can reference these and have all the information you need without having to dig through a 10 or 12 page participating school guide document. So again, quick point on that. Teams should swap ends and get play started immediately after that. And also, as a note, there's no tiebreakers. There's no overtime in our third place site. So just be communicating that out. If you are at that third place site on Wednesday or Thursday, that there will be no tiebreakers at that, and both teams will receive those medals accordingly. Let's go ahead and move, Aim. I got something for you there. Good deal. All right. So I mentioned our tournament admittance form and getting those in. Those will be sent over to our schools. And as your teams check in there, we'll utilize that as your entry form. So make sure that you're getting that to our office by Monday at noon so that Amy can build out those Passgate packets for all of our quarterfinal sites. In that is also your cheer, your band, and your ball chaser forms. Get all of those over to us so that we can make sure that those sites are all properly communicated. Bus parking around quarterfinal sites are all going to be shared out from the respective site managers for those places, those 6 sites that we have. Generally, they're high schools. There's not a whole ton of issues around bus parking. It's just more so direction on where your bus goes after they drop off your team and hopping back into the parking lot to pick them up after the contests are completed. So you'll see some communication from your quarterfinal site managers on all of that. And then I will get into more in-depth information on US Bank Stadium parking on our call that happens the Friday following the completion of all the quarterfinal games on Thursday evening. Let's go ahead and move forward.
Phil, there's been some questions in the chat about ball chasers. There is a ball chaser form that you need to fill out, and both teams need to provide 4 ball chasers for all games, not just the home team. So there should be a total of 8 student ball chasers for all games, 4 provided by the home team, 4 provided by the visitors team, and those students have to be in 7th through 12th grade. We have a form for you to submit to designate those. We understand with the short turnaround time, sometimes you have trouble gathering those names, and they will be flexible at the pass gate at quarterfinal sites and our other venues if you need to change the names of your ball chasers. But each team is expected to provide 4 student ball chasers per game.
Good deal. Thank you, Amy, for addressing that. Appreciate it. Any other questions in the chat before we want to move on to these last couple of slides?
Just one more. So the participating schools guide is posted on your dashboard, and that contains all of these forms listed here. Tournament admittance form, ball chaser, cheer and band form. Those are all part of the big participating schools guide on your dashboard. These forms are also posted as separate one-page documents on your dashboard. So the tournament admittance form, the ball chaser form, designation of band forms, and cheerleader designation form are part of the guide, but are also posted as 4 separate documents. They're a fillable PDF, so you should be able to type right in those documents before you submit them.
Perfect. Thanks, Amy. Let's go ahead and move forward here. All right, a few additional reminders. As I mentioned twice already, we've got that 4th official that's set up to be working with our benches and the scores table, working with substitution, things along those lines. I mentioned the additional Zoom meeting for qualifiers at the semifinal level. That will be Friday, October 25th at 9:30 a.m. And then team areas, they'll be clearly marked for each state tournament site, and quarterfinal sites may offer some overhead protection in case of rain or snow. They've been instructed to have some tents on hand. Looks like we've got a pretty decent week ahead of us. Nothing too crazy that I saw in the weather, at least. So looks good. We're going to continue to pray for solid weather there. And so just like I said, look out for communication from your quarterfinal sites, and we should be in a very good spot as far as weather goes. Let's go ahead and move forward into some of the ceremony information, Amy.
Phil, one quick question, if we can backtrack about socks. You mentioned sock issues. Are the grip socks with another sock cut over the grip sock allowed, is the question.
So the rule change that the NFHS made this past year was that you could have below the ankle some of that another color sock showing. That does not mean I have a blue uniform sock and I'm pulling my white grip sock up to the mid shin on my lower part of my shin. You can have from the ankle below a different color sock. So however your teams want to do that, that's fine. But they should not, if they've got a dark or a home colored sock, they should not have a white sock going midway up their shin, because that's their grip sock that they want to wear in their boot. So no, they should not be wearing that. Greg, if you want to hop in and talk any more about that.
The 4th official will not let them play if they can see a different color.
Yeah.
Same with tape. If you got a blue sock, you go white tape around it, they're not going to let them play that way.
Correct. So the NFHS's rule change was really designed for to allow you to have that grip sock on there, and maybe have a tape ring around the ankle and down, and that's it. It's not to pull your grip socks all the way up and have a blue calf cover and a white lower sock. That's not it. So that 4th official's job is there just to, a part of his job, I should say, is to monitor that. The other one is the shin guards. it's been a hot topic. A shin guard that is not appropriately sized for the kid is going to be questioned and called out, and that fourth official is probably not going to let him on the field, him or her on the field. So make sure our shin guards are appropriate as well. I said properly and legally equipped twice already in this, and this is a part of it. Just so Amy, thanks for bringing that question up that you saw in the chat. But yeah, their grip socks are fine to wear, but your primary sock color needs to be the primary sock color. If you're away, it's white. If you're the home team, the appropriate color that is not white is going to be allowed. I hope that answers the question, whoever asked it. If there's more clarification needed, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Amy, did you see any other questions in the chat before we hop into the celebration?
Nope, I think we've answered them all in the chat, so I think we're okay for
Awesome.
now.
Thanks for monitoring that while we're kind of rolling here. I appreciate that. All right, let's hop into our Coaches Association celebration that's going to take place on Sunday. I'll let Coach Juba talk a little bit about that.
First of all, congratulations. What a great time. And you're still playing soccer. Next week in quarterfinals, the weather looks perfect, except for it could be windy. So figure that one out. We're really glad that you're there. The other one is most of you have my number, but if you don't have my number, please write it down. My name is Greg Juba, J-U-B-A, retired, living the dream, but still volunteering. 651-260-1048. 651-260-1048. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to answer any questions or comments that you might have, especially if you're new. The other deal is we'll see you tomorrow at our celebration. Boys start at 10, girls start at 2. We're still looking for volunteers, sort of like Bill Vance of Tino Grace is going to come early with his staff at 10 o'clock to come and volunteer. Same with St. Cloud Cathedral. Alex bringing his people to come and help volunteer. That's easy volunteer. You're just handing out stuff. And this is all run by your association. Hopefully you are part of the association. So Sunday, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'll be at some quarterfinals. Hopefully your site. Contact me if you have any questions or comments.
Good deal. Thanks, Coach Juba. All right, let's move into a couple other things here around their celebration here. As Tim Layton mentioned, there will be MSHSL staff at all 6 of the quarterfinal sites. So if there's anything that's needed from a league standpoint, one of us will be on site at all 6 of them. So don't hesitate to reach out, find that site manager, let us know if you need anything. We'll be at all of those. Again, the quarterfinal sites, the celebration tomorrow, Signature Concepts will be there on site to make sure that the kids get early and kind of exclusive access to the state tournament apparel. One, as a reward for qualifying the state tournament, but then 2, so that you guys can focus on winning games and they're not running back and forth into the concourse and down onto the field level when you guys make it to US Bank Stadium. So let's go ahead and move forward, Aim. Congratulations again, as Coach Juba said. I'm excited for this tournament. This is one of the first tournaments that happens every year in the fall, and we kind of set the pace for the energy and tone that happens as the fall tournaments get going. These are the first ones of the year, and it's very exciting. So we covered a lot of information. Reminder, this is recorded, and this will be posted in your dashboard in that appropriate spot underneath the boys and girls soccer state tournament resources. So Amy will post those almost immediately after the meeting. If for whatever reason you're an AD on this call and your head coach isn't here, or you're a head coach and for whatever reason your AD wasn't here, I've had some people did a good job of reaching out, communicating of maybe conflicts and stuff. Make sure you're promoting getting in the slides, getting in the video, so you get any of your questions answered without having to either guess or reach out to us for information that was covered in this meeting. So these things will be posted. Please utilize them. But at the end of the day, if you can't find an answer that you're looking for, you can always shoot us an email or review the slides and the video itself. Amy, are you ready to hop into the seating part? Perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to start with our class. Yep, no, yeah, no rush. I got a couple things I'll hit on while you're getting set up. So we're going to start with our Class A girls. Then we'll do our Class A boys. Then we'll do 2A girls, 2A boys, 3A girls, 3A boys. And again, we did our the random draw aspect of it prior to. We used to do it on this video call. We did a survey last year to ask if coaches thought that it was better to do it on the call or better to do it earlier and be able to share your location and your time that you're playing and the day that you're playing in the meeting. It was overwhelming that people wanted to have their date, time, location in this meeting versus waiting an additional hour or two for Coach Juba, myself, and Amy to figure out how everything ties together. So, with that said, Amy, are you ready to go? Okay.
Yes.
A couple of other factors that play into it. Obviously, if teams have both boys and girls playing, we take that into consideration, trying to make sure that you're not split up. If one of our host schools for quarterfinal sites has a team that qualifies, obviously they're not going to play at home for a state tournament game, so we take that into consideration. Take into consideration your football schedules. All these different pieces are playing into this, and this is what we've resulted in. And if there is some conflicts, most of you ADs have already been communicated with, just to give you a heads up. We try to be very, very mindful of that. So we're going to hop into this. Amy, you ready to go? All right. Class A girls, number 5 seed ESCO versus number 4 seed St. Cloud Cathedral. They will play Thursday at Monticello with a 5:30 start time. That's St. Cloud Cathedral versus ESCO, Monticello on Thursday at 5:30. We've got our number 3 seed St. Charles versus random draw St. Paul Academy Summit School. They will play Wednesday at Farmington at 5:30. That's Wednesday, Farmington, 5:30, St. Charles, and SPA. We've got our number 2 seed Providence Academy versus random draw Concordia Academy. They'll play Wednesday, October 23rd at Spring Lake Park at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, 7:30, Spring Lake Park, Providence versus CA, Concordia Academy. We've got our number 1 seed Southwest Christian versus Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa at Eden Prairie Thursday at 5:30. Southwest Christian.
I'll pause
Sorry.
here if anybody wants to take a screenshot of it.
Yep, I was gonna say if coaches, ADs, if you want to take a quick screenshot, it will be about an hour to 90 minutes until these are posted on the MSHSL site. If you want to take a screenshot, please do so now. This is Class A Girls 2024 state bracket. All right, Amy, let's go ahead and move into boys. All right, we've got our number 5 seed Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa versus our number 4 seed Breck playing Thursday Eden Prairie at 7:30 p.m. Breck versus Pine Island Zumbrota Mazeppa at EP 7:30 p.m. We've got our number 3 seed Rochester Lords playing random draw Fridley on Thursday at Edina 5:30 kick. Rochester Lords, Fridley, Thursday, Edina 5:30. We've got our number 2 seed, St. Cloud Cathedral versus Marshall School, random draw Marshall School in Duluth, Thursday at Monticello, 7:30 p.m. kick. St. Cloud Cathedral, Marshall, Monticello, 7:30 p.m. We've got our number 1 seed, St. Paul Academy Summit School versus random draw St. Croix Prep, playing at Farmington on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. That's SPA versus St. Croix Prep at Farmington, 7:30 p.m. This is your Class A boys bracket for 2024. Take shots, screenshots, take notes as needed. All right, let's hop into our girls Class 2A state bracket. We've got number 5 seed Orono versus number 4 seed Cloquet Carleton playing at White Bear Wednesday at 5:30. Cloquet Carleton girls versus Orono at White Bear 5:30. We've got number 3 seed Mankato East playing random draw St. Cloud Tech Thursday at Spring Lake Park at 5:30. Mankato East, St. Cloud Tech at Spring Lake Park 5:30. We've got our number 2 seed Matamidi playing random draw St. Francis Thursday at Edina at 7:30. Matamidi, St. Francis at Edina at 7:30 on Thursday. That leaves us with our number 1 seed, Holy Angels, versus Random Draw, Byron, playing Tuesday at Eden Prairie at 5:30. Number 1 seed, Holy Angels versus Random Draw, Byron, playing at Eden Prairie on Tuesday at 5:30. This is your girls class 2A 2024 state soccer bracket. All right, moving on to boys. We've got our number 5 seed, Mankato East, playing number 4 seed, Orono, Thursday at Spring Lake Park with a 7:30 p.m. start. Orono versus Mankato East at Spring Lake Park, Thursday at 7:30. We've got our number 3 seed, Blake, playing Random Draw, Cloquet Esco Carlton at White Bear Lake on Wednesday at 7:30. That's Blake versus CEC on Wednesday, White Bear Lake at 7:30. We've got our number 2 seed, Totino Grace versus Random Draw, St. Cloud Tech, Wednesday at Monticello with a 7:30 kick. Totino Grace, St. Cloud Tech, 7:30 on Wednesday at Monticello. That leaves our Class 2A number 1 seed, Holy Angels versus Random Draw, Northfield on Tuesday at Eden Prairie with a 7:30 start. Holy Angels, Northfield, playing at Eden Prairie Tuesday with a 7:30 start. This is your boys 2A state tournament bracket for 2024. All right, Amy, let's move into our 3A girls. 3A girls 2024 bracket looks like this. 5 seed Lakeville North versus 4 seed Egan, playing Tuesday at Farmington at 5:30. That's our 5 seed Lakeville North, 4 seed Egan, playing at Farmington Tuesday at 5:30. We've got our number 3 seed Edina, playing Random Draw Duluth East on Wednesday at Spring Lake Park with a 5:30 start. Edina, Duluth East, playing at Spring Lake Park Wednesday at 5:30. We've got our number 2 seed Eastridge, playing Random Draw Maple Grove Tuesday, White Bear Lake at 5:30. Eastridge versus Maple Grove at White Bear Lake Tuesday at 5:30 start. That leaves us with the number 1 seed Wayzata versus Random Draw St. Michael Albertville, playing Tuesday at Edina at 7:30. That's Wayzata versus STMA at Edina, 7:30 kick. This is your girls 3A bracket. All right, Amy, let's move into our 3A boys. And we'll conclude our meeting with this. 3A boys, number 5 seed Woodbury versus 4 seed Egan, playing Tuesday at Farmington with a 7:30 start. Egan, Woodbury playing at Farmington Tuesday, 7:30 start. We've got number 3 seed Minnetonka playing Random Draw Andover at Edina Tuesday at 5:30. Minnetonka, Andover playing at Edina Tuesday at 5:30. We've got number 2 seed Maple Grove playing Random Draw Rochester Mayo. This game will be played Tuesday at White Bear Lake with a 7:30 start. Maple Grove, Rochester Mayo, Tuesday White Bear Lake with a 7:30 start. This leaves our number 1 seed Minneapolis Washburn playing Random Draw Bemidji. This game will be Wednesday at Monticello at 5:30. Washburn, Bemidji playing at Monticello Wednesday with a 5:30 start. This is your 3A boys 2024 state tournament bracket. With all 6 brackets being revealed, this will be the conclusion of our qualifiers meeting that's focusing on the quarterfinal sites. Again, on Friday, for those teams that are advancing, there will be another quick meeting that is going to be discussing topics and issues pertinent to navigation around US Bank Stadium and the third place site, which is the West Side Dome in West St. Paul. So that meeting for advancing teams will be on Friday. Is it 9:30, Amy, I remember correctly? 9:30 on
so,
Friday?
yes.
Yep. Okay. Again, get all that information into us by noon on Monday. If there are any questions or anything, we'll stay on here to monitor the chat, but our emails and all of our communications have phone numbers, emails, any other ways to get in contact with us. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'm excited. I think we're going to have a great tournament. It's awesome to see some schools that we don't commonly see in here, a Bemidji, a Concordia Academy, stuff like that. I'm excited for our tournament. We're going to have some great energy. It's going to be fun, guys. So stay in tune with us. If there's questions, let us know, and I look forward to seeing you this week as we're moving. Have a great rest of your Saturday.